Hello, HBC. Thank you so much for joining us for today's devotional. We've been studying our identity and Christ. And I don't know if you're like me, but I still remember the feeling I get when I think about lining up on the elementary school playground and picking teams. There's that moment where you want to get picked first and then you don't get picked first and you're holding out waiting, just hoping that you are not the one that is forgotten and the one that feels rejected and left alone. And I've been there before where you're looking and there's not a lot of people left. And in this passage today, in Genesis 21, there's a woman who feels forgotten and rejected. Let's read together in verse 17 through 19. But God heard the boy crying, and the angel of God called to Hagar from heaven, Hagar, what's wrong? Do not be afraid. God has heard the boy crying as he lies there. Go to him and comfort him, for I will make a great nation from his descendants. Then God opened Hagar's eyes. She saw a well full of water. She quickly filled her water container and gave the boy a drink. Now, a little background so you know what's happening in this story. Abraham and Sarah are given a promise by God that he is going to bless them, to give them so many descendants that outnumber the stars in the sky and the sand on the beaches and the earth. And he is just waiting for this promise to come, and he rushes things and he tries to do things his own way. And so he marries Sarah's servant Hagar, and they have a child, and his name is Ishmael. And it creates this friction between Sarah and Hagar, as you can imagine. And so finally, Sarah talks to Abraham and says, hey, they have to go. And so Ishmael and Hagar are now sent out on their own in the wilderness. Now, often when I've heard this story before in the past, I picture this young boy. But theologians believe he was really probably around 15 to 17 years old. And here he is. And I love this passage because it shows the love of God. Because it says that God heard the boy crying. When I think about the moments in my life where I've been the most broken and the most feeling forgotten and rejected and lonely, to think that God hears my cries, that he notices. And here, even though Hagar probably felt like no one cared and just sent them off and they felt rejected, she probably thought, what is my purpose? Why am I here? What's this look like for my son? Not only am I worried about me and my purpose, but I'm thinking, what about him? But God hears the boys cry, and he remembers, and he rescues them. And I love this because not only does he hear the boy crying, but he also calls Hagar by name. He knows her too. And he calls her name and he says, hey, don't worry. Look up. And she sees something for the first time. She sees this well in front of her that she can get water. It makes me wonder how many times in our life do we feel rejected and alone and like, is anyone for me? And God, is anything going to come through? And I've been praying and nothing's happening. And you're just wondering, but all along, there's been something right there that if we just go to God and we listen to him and he calls our name, that he'll open our eyes, because that's what it says in this passage. It says God opened Hagar's eyes, that he opens our eyes and shows us something that's been there all along, his provision. He hears us and he's come to rescue us because you are not forgotten. And even though you may feel rejected, he knows your name. So if there's anything you can take from today, he's aware. He pays attention to us, he sees us, and he's usually provided. He has provided an answer for you. Stay with him, listen to his voice. He'll be there for you, and I hope that's an encouragement to you today. If it is, please share this. We would love to continue to grow together in God's word. God bless you. We love you. Have a great day.